What is up, y'all? It's your girl Slush. I hope that you guys had an amazing weekend. I know I did. And hopefully, you either got the rest that you needed or all the adventures you've been craving for throughout the week. I wanted to share with you something super exciting for the community, which is Roflo is going to be at the Anaheim Fit Expo. And this is something that's for the community. And the biggest thing about this is that it's not about me hosting this class, but it's about rope flow as a modality, as a flow arts, taking space in such a conventional fitness environment. And I think that throughout time, the more and more people see this, the more that it becomes understood and more familiar to the general population. And so if you're from the SoCal area, I would love to invite you this August 6th at 11 a.m. I'm going to be at the group exercise stage and we're going to flow the fuck out. If you've never done rope flow as well, you are always and always invited. And I'm just super grateful for this opportunity because one, this is not something that no one person can do. It takes an entire community to not only love rope flow, but also validate the craft in itself. And so I'm so blessed to have discovered rope flow and to know that the person who systemized this thing, which is David Weck, he is someone who lives and breathes movement and just physical education as a whole. And I'm so glad that from the top all the way down to just community members like us, that there is this huge understanding of the value that rope flow brings into our lives. And so, again, I'm super, super honored, and I just want to share this with you guys really because I'm excited as much as I'm excited to be a part of this. I know that in the bigger picture, in the bigger picture, it's not just one person, it's not just one group, it's the entire community. This is a worldwide movement, and the shifts are happening, and I'm just so happy and grateful to be a part of this and to have met people like you guys along the way that continue to validate and grow this community. So yeah, man, I'm just sitting in gratitude right now. And something that's been sitting with me as well is how all of this even started. How Roflo got a spot at the Fit Expo. So in case you're not familiar with it, the Fit Expo in LA is one of the biggest expos in the country. And let me rephrase that, one of the biggest fitness expos in the country, and especially in the West Coast, this is like the expo to be at. And earlier this January, I was able to be a part of the expo, showcasing slush ropes and rope flow as a whole. And the feedback that we experienced was just so great. And something I've never shared before, at least publicly, was my own narrative prior to coming in and experiencing my first fitness expo. I had thought, mind you, I'm someone who enjoys going to expos, and every single year that I go to the Fit Expo, whether it was in LA, Anaheim, or other places in SoCal, I've always had this narrative in my head that, oh yeah, only fit people go there, only professional athletes and professional educators or coaches go there. Someone like me isn't really their crowd. And that's my own narrative. I'm not going to lie. I'm just a normal person at the end of the day. I have my own doubts and limiting beliefs. Let's just say that. Like I have my own limiting beliefs, and those are things that I work on every single day. But when I got to the Fit Expo, I just had the best time ever meeting so many people who have never heard about rope flow, kind of like getting their hands or their feet wet in this case, with rope flow and with jump rope. And it was also the same expo where I met a bunch of my LA Flomies today. And I'm super, super grateful for that experience because it really taught me that as much as I thought and believe that, you know what, in LA, there's not really any Flomies out here, I was wrong. I actually met so many people who today I call my very good friends. And what is it? It's July. It's only been 7 months, but the relationships that I've built, in this entire year with these flomies that I just met at the expo, they are relationships that I genuinely am grateful for. And it's so fascinating to see how these friendships that I've formed through, just rope flow or jump rope, they have blossomed into deeper and more personal relationships. And I'm so, so grateful for that. I'm so grateful because that's all thanks to what we do out here, which is rope flow and jump ropes. So, just going back to my narrative, I had this fixated perspective on the types of people that would only like be interested in what we do, things like that. And turns out I was wrong, And that was my own lesson for me to learn. And it was super, super humbling. It was super humbling seeing, power lifters pick up the rope and find so much value in it. It was so interesting seeing bodybuilders be like, what the hell is that? And they want to try it because they're just so intrigued by it. And everyone in between, it was so, so cool to just have that all around, everything in the spectrum kind of experience. And so the expo ended, and like that in itself was just a dream come true. And so, fast forward a few months ago, I was just sitting here at the office, and kind of thinking about, some dreams and goals that I have for myself. And a thought that came up was being part of the Anaheim Fit Expo. So the Anaheim Fit Expo, in case you're not too familiar with how, I guess, SoCal works, it's it's not LA, but it's close to LA just because LA is so huge. But it's right about 40 minutes ish to from LA. And I was thinking, man, like, what do I have to do to be there? What can I do? What do I have to do to be there? And I sat in my computer and I just said, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask. So I sat here literally where I'm sitting. I went online, tried to Google some information, and reached out to almost every single email that I could find relating to the Fit Expo. And I just asked, like, hey, what can I do to be a part of this? Of course, this whole thing took place in a longer and better formatted email, but essentially the core of it was I asked, what do I have to do and how can I get there to be a part of this? And when I sent that email, I remember thinking, there is no way that they're going to respond to me because this is such a huge production event. And I just don't see, what wrong, or I don't see how I can lose by asking. And so, to my surprise, 2 days later, I received an email and saying, hey, this is not my department. However, I can actually forward this to the right department. And so, with me not even expecting any response at all, and me reading that email, I was so excited. But also at the same time, I knew that at any given point, this thing could just stop and there could be no traction after that. And so immediately the next day, I receive a response from the group exercise department, and they offered me the opportunity to showcase rope flow by doing a group class. And I remember reading that email thinking, wow, how many times in my life could I have done something like this where I just asked, where I didn't assume or allow my limiting beliefs to control what could have been different in my future. And so I'm sharing this story to you guys because I feel like it's something that is genuinely part of my journey, but also part of rope flow history. One day I dream of seeing rope flow as this thing that is just so established and popularized and familiar that at no point would someone even ask, what is that? And that is where jump rope is today. If anyone, your grandma, your grandpa, if someone saw someone doing it, they would know what it is. I'm just sitting in so much gratitude. I'm just so grateful that I was able to get out of my comfort zone in that way and say, fuck it, and just ask. Well, that is practically the story of how we got a spot at the Fit Expo this August 6th at the I can't even talk right now. That is the story. I feel so overwhelmed, and I could edit this video, but also, I mean, it's just all about being authentic. I've come to realize, and as you guys can see, I've been a little bit more consistent with the YouTube updates because I'm just trying to be more sustainable. I'm trying to have a more sustainable flow in my workload, and a lot of the times what ends up happening to me is I literally over glamorize or try to reach perfection when in reality it takes time. And as of right now, because I don't necessarily have a team, I don't have like your daily production team shooting my content, doing all of that stuff. I need to make sure that I do what I can to be consistent, because something like this, because I'm not a photographer or a videographer or anything like that, as long as there is a message being sent across, the lighting is good enough, the audio is good enough, that is what counts. So yeah, guys, I just want to say thank you and invite you, if you are from SoCal, because this is going to be very, very exciting for the future of rope flow. So yeah, I love you guys and hope you guys have a great day.